Andro core ACI-15. We're going to do our 55 grain accuracy functioning test. But before we get into it, please hit subscribe and the like button. Leave a comment, and if you could, be a member and help support the channel. Okay, this is where we're doing our testing for accuracy in that. Our Andro core was up. We're running our 55 grain ammo, 8 different brands in this video. And this rifle we used that NC Star scope, which is not an expensive or a high quality scope, but it is a telescopic sight other than the T-dots and iron sights I used on the other guns, and it did make a difference. I'm actually going to rerun the tests with one gun where the scope malfunctioned on me, the battery ran out, with this to give it a fair shake. I'm coming to find out the type of sighting system you have on a rifle does make a difference with these budget guns. Alright, so we'll get into it and see how it did. Alright, next up is the Andro core, and I have that NC Star scope on there, so hopefully this will do better. The other thing, I don't know what it was, I put the replacement battery in it and it fizzled out on me, so the battery to come in the box must have been dead too. Alright, Engman, we're going to start off with. Oh yeah, I can see the damn targets better now. Okay, Old Army out of Macedonia. Doing a lot better when you can see the target. This is our Frontier from Hornady. And that was the one I messed up on in the other gun. But this is supposed to be the magic ammo that shoots out of a 1 in 7 with a 55 grain bullet with deadly accuracy. That's the stuff from Lithuania. Next up is that stuff from Czechoslovakia. Yeah, I might have to rerun the Radical. All of these are shooting way better. Alright, this is PMC. Okay, now Hornady. not Hornady, I'm sorry, Yoshi. Okay, last but not least, PPU. Alright, and you can actually see the target, you do a lot better, but everything went through the gun, no malfunctions, and actually this target's a lot better. I can see through the 3-power scope. And now we'll go and run the next gun. Alright, this is our Andro core target review of our 55 grain bullets. Now, we have a 1 7" twist barrel on the rifle, but this rifle was the one I mounted the NC Star variable power telescope on. And I didn't illuminate it, I just used it as a scope. And it did make a difference, and I'll tell you that this is going to be the best set of targets out of all of them, and I may go back, pull that scope off and mount it on the other 2 budget guns and use this as a baseline. So what do we get? We have our Ingman, which we ended up with 1 3/4 inches with the flyer. But then again, there's several of these targets without that oddball flyer would be 1" groups. Here's another one. This is our Old Army. Okay, another foreign brand I never heard of. Without that flyer, it was 2.5 inches with the flyer, and like the notation, it's about 1 inch without that one flyer. And I believe that was the worst one out of the whole 8, the 2.5 inches. Now, here again, Frontier Ammo. This stuff's supposed to be magical. A guy made that up, or made that video and shot out to 500 yards with this in a 1/7 twist, 1.25 inches. And that's about what I was getting on average with these, depending on the site. Then we go down to Triple G. Not too bad at 1.25 inches. Again, these are about average. These here, they don't have any weird flyers. Now we go to our Czech ammo. That was 1.5 inches. Fairly decent thing without the flyer. Probably again would have been 1 inch. So that's like 3 of them so far that we had a flyer in there. Could have been me, just could be the ammo. We would have had 1 inch groups, which is pretty damn good. Then the winner is the X-Tac or PMC 7/8 of an inch. So this particular rifle really likes the 55 grain PMC ammo. That's going to be hard to beat by any of them. Now we go down to Fiyoshi 1.5 inch group. Okay, again with the one flyer. And our old standard here, this is what I tested these guns with. This is 1 3/4 inches. But when I was testing them, I was using this PPU ammo. And a lot of these guns were shooting over 2 inches, 2.5, and stuff like that. So, obviously this is a lot better. This is the winner here, the PMC. This gun happens to like it a lot. But I'd say for second place with grouping would be this Old Army without the odd flyer. Would be just, you know, 1/8 of an inch more compared to this. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull that scope off today and mount it on the other gun and rerun this test. But this is the best one out of the 4. And I think the scope has something to do with it. Alright.